Hello, hello. Welcome to your energy update for December 2nd through December 8th. Whew. Let me tell you, we are moving through some stuff this week. And we knew as we began to transfer or transition into this age of Aquarius, as Pluto begins to, work its underworld magic, that some of this was going to be coming up to the surface. Perhaps even more so if you're the sign of Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting somebody. Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, the other fixed sign. I can't think of it right now. Left my periphery, but you should probably know who you are. This also, by the way, just so you know, it's not just the sun sign. It is your sun sign, but also your rising sign and your moon are the ones that are most impacted by the shift. So for some people who may have been, for example, a Capricorn sun, but then is a Taurus rising or something like that, well, you decided to go along for both journeys of Pluto. And in truth, we all kind of did. It's impacting all of us at some level. Okay, so we are starting off here with the Three of Hearts. And boy, I have to tell you, I'm feeling this hardcore. Um, this really has a lot to do with grief, with sorrow, almost like this feeling of betrayal. This could be coming in relationships with a significant other. Perhaps there was infidelity, but it also could be familial. A lot around the maternal bloodline is coming in this week. So, especially, especially if you're my O type blood, a lot coming in around but in general, right, a lot coming in around the bloodline, the familial bloodline coming in, and this feeling of like there's a lot of grief, a lot of sorrow, a lot of anger that is coming in, sacred rage around the conditioning that has happened in the bloodline. And a lot of people here, right, are here to really help break some of these cycles, some of these patterns, some of these curses and spells and all of the things around the bloodline. And as we are moving, as we are in this sort of quote unquote queen season, we're getting ready to hit that 12/12 portal, which is significant because it is the third portal of the three. And that is the one where we begin to really integrate, where we begin to really ground everything. And so when we talk about the ground, right, we talk about the blood on earth, the blood that's running through the ley lines, the blood that is running through not only just the blood, but also the water, right? So there might be some thought processes around water because water is considered to hold the wisdom. So we have the blood, which is the memories. And keep in mind that for many of us, we have been reincarnating on Earth over and over and over again through the same bloodlines because it was the way for us to come in and retrieve information that we had previously stored. And so this, the mechanism that pumps the blood, this feels very much related to things that have been going on within the bloodline. And even things like, for example, infidelity or betrayal, this is also things that are coded within the bloodline. So just keep that in mind. And coupled with this, we have the miracle of forgiveness. This is Archangel Jeremiah. And this feels very much, right, like there's some interesting energy, and we're really going to have to dig deep to really discover all of the light that we aren't seeing in the situation, but to recognize that our emotions need to be felt, but then they also need to, we then begin to need to work through the understanding and the forgiveness and allowing it to rise into a higher purpose. I'm hearing a lot around boundaries right now. A lot of boundaries need to come into place. Perhaps you have been very patient around some of these patterns, especially within your family, perhaps with your mother, that have been reoccurring. And now it seems like you're perhaps at the point where there's a hard stop, where you're really have pulled in a lot of information A lot around the throat. Okay, a lot around suppression of expression, a lot around suppressing the voice, a lot around the way we talk, good girl, bad girl, right, wrong, judgment, worth. A lot around this is really coming up, and it's coupled with the soul family. Okay, call in your tribe. You don't have to do this alone. I've been talking about this a lot recently. It feels as though perhaps you have felt like you're the only person in your family that's like trying to rectify all this. It feels like the burden has been solely on your shoulders, that you have had to carry the weight of trying to do all this work, where perhaps other people either are aware and aren't really doing anything about it, or are unaware, right? That are sort of like, I don't understand what it is you're doing. I don't get it. I don't care, kind of a thing. And so you're really being asked to lean, right, on those who understand. And this could be your friends. This could literally be your spiritual team. This could, and the thing is, I want you to really understand it. It's important to not just have it be energetic, spiritual, but also physical, right? This is why being in containers, being in masterminds, being in groups where you're held are critical. I talk about this on my Instagram today, how moving forward, the energy of alone is no longer the energy. We are now going to be moving together. And so it is really at this sort of crossroads where some of us have been feeling like, I got it. I can do this on my own. I'm strong enough. And while that is true, that is not the way. That's not the point. To be in service to others mean we serve each other. And by serving each other, we serve ourselves. So doing it alone is more or less de defeating the purpose of us coming together in collaboration and synergy and creating a new earth that looks very different than the one that's got to like carry the load on their back and is like, I'm strong, I got this, I don't need anybody kind of energy. That is being asked and being cleared and being collapsing. So just know if you start to feel a little bit like what's going on here, this is also being pulled out. Now, we have here the four of cups coming in, and this feels very like inner child. So again, a nod to the past, to usually the did I say, what did I say? Six of Cups is usually like a nod to memories, to nostalgia. Again, a recognition, right? Woo, to the past, a recognition to past timelines, a recognition to inner child, a recognition to the memories in the blood, the memories in the bloodline. We're clearing the past. We're working through the past. And lo and behold, speak your truth. So again, Archangel Gabriel coming in, and a lot of this is around what we are tolerating. What are we allowing to still be present in our reality, even though we have been committed to getting rid of it? And it feels like over time, we've been slowly reaching this point where our patience is wearing thin. And now it's like, look, it's time to clear it. It is time to be done with it. It is time to let it go. It is time to allow a new reality in. It is time to move forward and completely detach yourself from what has been and let the past be the past. This can be challenging if you're somebody who has been holding on to certain aspects of it because it relates to your identity. I am who I am because if my past created who I am. So then the challenge here becomes, if your story of the past is no longer the story you tell, who am I? And this is what you're being asked to completely restructure. And so there is sort of this tower collapse type of moment that feels like it's on the horizon. And then this is coupled with starseed, right? And again, we're seeing the planets. Hopefully you can see this because the lighting is, yeah, the planets, and you see the water, you see the woman. And this again, reminding me a lot of the feminine energy, a lot of the female, the maternal bloodline, the water that holds the wisdom. Um, and then we have in the background, it looks like there's a mountain. You can't quite see it. And this looks like Saturn back there. So again, some karmic things that we are clearing, remembering that some of you are going to be clearing a lot of galactic type things that have happened on Earth, particularly my O blood types again. Man, we signed up for something, I tell you. And so the connection here is also to remember to call for your light, right? What lights you up, this shift, this transition is not to dwell on how things have been, but how you want them to be, to create the intention, the boundaries, to remember, right? You are a being of much higher origin, of much higher wisdom, of much higher consciousness, and to let the light in. What lights you up? Let the light in. A lot of times when we're holding on to things, we're not actually holding on to our light, we're holding on to our dark. And so we want to let our dark pieces of us go because it's through the dark that we birth the, excuse me, that we birth the light. So we want to be birthed into the light, which means we're going to have to let go of these pieces of ourselves that we have so tightly held on to. Okay. Then we have another six. Oh, six seems to be showing up. We have a six of wands, and you see him there on his horse. It's sort of this idea of moving away, of traveling beyond, leaving the past behind, sort of this triumphant type of energy. And so this is a beautiful card that we've been clearing, right? We're clearing the grief, we're clearing the sorrow, we're clearing the past, we're clearing all of this energy. And I'm just noticing soul family is also here. It has the whales, and we know that the whales are the animals that the Vegans really worked with to be able to um, hold the wisdom that they brought forth. It was through the whales because they were the ones who were most able to hold that kind of information. And so, and then we have the dolphin, which has a lot to do with the throat chakra. So we have wisdom around the throat chakra. Okay. And so we're moving past all of this. And we have, again, don't hate, meditate. So going within. Okay, so we're clearing all of this by going within. We want to be careful not to project these things onto others. They are just a mirror for us. However, that does not mean that part of you going within and creating your external reality is you still work in the physical realm. So you still hold these boundaries. You still have these conversations where you say, this is what I'm no longer available for. And you are the one who is responsible for not only setting your boundaries, but upholding them. So go within, right? Really connect to your truth, connect to the ancestors, connect to earth, connect to your galactic roots, connect through the meditation. And we are showing keepers of earth. This very much feels related to the O blood type. That's why I keep coming back to it. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. There's a reason I talk about the O blood type, right? The O blood type is the one that is here to really clear out the information from the Orion Wars and that sort of stuff here on Earth. And but that doesn't mean, I mean, like all of us are here, right? Keepers of the Earth. So the shamanic energy, the alchemical energy, um, we're seeing elephants, we're seeing wolves, we're seeing eagles. So a lot here. And if you're noticing, again, we have women. So your ancestors are here with you. They are helping you walk through this. Whatever you're clearing, even if you're not technically clearing or dedicated to that piece during this life, you're still in support of it. You're still working through all the things in your bloodline. You're still here to be a part of the evolution of Earth and to really anchor in this new golden era. And so this is just as pertinent to you, whether you, no matter what blood type you have. And so just know, allow the ancestors are here to help during this time because, and that is really, we're really in that time period on the calendar, as far as the calendar goes, and the energetics between the astrology and all of these things, where we are deeply, deeply working with Sorry, I want to make sure something is working. Where we are deeply, deeply working with our ancestrals, our bloodline, and it all began starting really in October. Okay, and then we have the Ten of Wands. And to me, this feels like finality. Like we have been gathering. This is two ways, right? We have been gathering all this information, all of these tools, all of these resources, all of these the throughout, right, the last several years, especially in 2024, we've been gathering, gathering, gathering. And one, these tools and these resources are here to help us during this very moment in time. And so the wands represent everything we have gathered to help us help ourselves, but at the same time, the wands represent all of the things that feel like burdens that we're ready to let go of. It's like, and I'm done. It feels like a very concise, I'm done. I'm not available for this anymore. This is no longer going to be my reality, and I am clearing it. I'm clearing it. I'm holding myself to it. I am keeping my word. I am convicted with my word, with my command. This is how it is. So it is done. So it is done. So it is done. And we have trustworthy friends. Thank you, angels, for surrounding me with people I can trust and love. So know you're being supported. This feels like a really not only, okay, so this feels like anchoring in to people in your family that are finally ready to come on board. This feels like anchoring into the people who are in your life who see you for who you are, because during this process can be a little bit of a villainizing type of energy. Those who don't understand aren't going to understand, aren't going to feel, aren't perhaps they're going to take some of the actions that you take or the stand that you take negatively. But hold on, call in your soul family. Know you're supported. Know you are doing something that is very big for yourself and for your bloodline, and not everybody's going to understand that. But there are people around you who will. There are people around you who will have your back. This is the time to allow yourself to lean on them and for them to lean on you, because many people around the planet are going to be doing this, and there's this fear of loss, right, when we do these things. And yet, this is what is being called for. It is the kindest, most loving, greatest thing you can do for yourself, to let go of the energy of sacrifice, to let go of the energy of, um, I can't move on, I can't go forward, I can't do this thing because I'm waiting for my family, I'm waiting for people to catch up. Your family is waiting for you to go. So go, lead, show them, be who you say you want to be, and inspire a revolution. And then we have the Akasha. Okay. So your guidance is divinely guided. All right. It's literally you're clearing out the records. This is what you're here to do in this moment in time. And it may not look the way you think it's going to look. It may not feel the way you think it should feel. It may feel a little wobbly. It may feel at times like, oh my God, what am I doing? You may start to experience a lot of this guilt, shame, grief, sorrow, anger, rage. It may be a whirlwind of emotions, but just know this is you processing and letting go, and you're doing nothing wrong. I want that seems very pertinent. You're doing nothing wrong, okay? And for many people, they have been conditioned, especially when it comes to family, especially when it comes to moms, to be a good girl and to not be a bad girl, and bad girls do wrong things. And so this also feels like a reclamation of your sovereignty from judgment, from sacrificing your voice and who you are and what you're here to do and who you are here to be in order to appease, in order to be a good girl for your family, for your moms in particular. Okay, so that is this week's energy reading. Today is my last day where you can save tons of money on my Fearless program. We start on 12/12 during the portal. The Empress Activator, that is 444 and goes up to $777 on December 6th. We have Frequency, which is also on sale, and my one-on-ones. My one-on-ones are the ones that are like the biggest deal right now. So if any of those interest you, send me a message on Instagram at I am Wendy Gerhart and let's get you booked in. All right, we got a really, really powerful, impactful, almost life-altering week ahead of us. So make sure you're grounding, make sure you're drinking your water, make sure you're getting outside, and make sure you're supporting yourself. Remember, we're no longer doing this alone. All right, so much love, and I will see you on the next energy reading.